If I'm lying, why is Mugabe no more but still they have sanction on Zimbabwe? You sanctioned Zimbabwe because you said Mugabe was undemocratic, where Mugabe was repressive, and where Mugabe was suppressing the people. So Mugabe is dead. Why do you still have sanction on Zimbabwe to punish the same people you said you were liberating or you were saving?
Today, my clothing line is sponsored by the Masai Mara people of Kenya. So what are we talking about today? Once a promising economic superpower is now in the arms of IMF begging for its life, Ghana's recent economic challenges has raised alarm among economic analysts. There is this Ghanaian YouTuber who think IMF intentionally sabotage Ghana economy so that Ghana can join IMF program to allow them to control Ghana economy. This guy name is Ekow Aidoo. I want us to watch this video of him explaining the whole plan. I will be back.
So today I just want to talk to you about something very important. Ghana's economy is basically in tatters, all right? Inflation is high, and now the government have introduced more stringent measures which will suffocate the citizens even further. But I want you as a Ghanaian or African to understand what is happening, because I have seen a lot of misinformation on the internet and even some in Ghana, all right? But I just want you to know that what is happening is more artificial, it's more fabricated, and it's a direct attack on our economy. Let me tell you why I say this. In 2000 and before 2019, Ghana's economy was growing by 7%. Ghana's economy was the fastest economy in Africa, in the entire Africa, just in 2019. All right, the fastest growing economy and one of the fastest in the entire world. All right, even during the COVID time where Africans were struggling and all that, Ghana's economy was growing by 4.1%, still being the fastest growing economy in Africa. All right, so what really happened? Then the Russia-Ukraine war came. Also, we began to feel the aftermath of the COVID and all that. In the process of restructuring and all that, then this war, Russia-Ukraine war, also came through. But let me issue a disclaimer. I am not doing this video to pat the back of any political party. I can agree that in Africa we have mismanagement and all that. But please, sometimes before we also criticize the government, we should look at things holistically. We should look at the external environment factors, or the macro environment, or the macro factors that the government has basically no control over. All right, so as I said, Ghana's economy was doing good. It was growing before COVID more than 7%, and even during the COVID 4.1%, making it the fastest economy, one of the most effective, more attractive economy in the entire Africa. All right. Then Ukraine war came, still struggling. Everybody was struggling, but in that process, then IMF, Ghana has maintained. No, Ghana pulled out of IMF, and IMF was not happy about it. When Akufo-Addo, or the president of Ghana, came, he said he was going to get out of IMF, all right? And he did. And IMF was not that happy, all right? What IMF wishes that all countries, because when the moment you go to IMF, they get to dictate what you should do to your economy. They call the shots. They have the leverage. They will tell you what to do. All right. They will tell you how to do your debt restructuring. Now Ghana have stopped employment for 1 year. The whole 2003, the public sector will never employ anyone. That's what IMF. They tell you how to restructure your whole economy. All right. Remember Nigeria going to the IMF in 2020. Before that, Nigeria didn't want to go to IMF, but they were forced to. I wouldn't say they were. Nobody forces us to go to IMF, but in Africa, Nigeria is supposed to be the richest and the most powerful country in Africa, the richest country in Africa. They were brought to their knees in 2020, just 2 years ago, to go to IMF. The time that Ghana insisted, Ghana would never go to IMF. So this is what happened. Just this year, right? Or late last year. No, this year, after February, when the war broke out, all right? IMF began to throw some kind of message, signals to Ghana, right? We are ready to support Ghana. We are ready to support Ghana. Ghana still insisted that, hey, we have a way to mobilize revenue for ourselves, all right? So we are not going to move to IMF. Then IMF still was calling, why should you keep on saying you want to help someone while the person hasn't formally requested for it? Then this happened. Look at this guy. This man is called Professor Hank, a professor in the Johns Hopkins University in the USA. Began to throw shot, but mind you, this professor has no business in Ghana. All right, he's a finance professor. He's been writing books about Russia and other countries. I mean, this man has no business in Ghana. You don't have a wife in Ghana. You don't have a business in Ghana. You don't have any interest in Ghana. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, for some other reason, magically, some supernatural love, I don't know, he started throwing jabs at Ghana. That Ghana is underreporting is how do you call it, this inflation rates. Ghana's economy is dying, and I will explain it to you. I will also talk to you from the perspective of trading, all right, and market principle. I'll later talk to you about all these market principles so that you come to appreciate what I'm trying to say. He started throwing these jabs at Ghana, that Ghana economy is not safe, Ghana economy, the inflation is high, Ghana economy is going to crash. He said a whole lot of things to put fear and doubt in the economy, in Ghana's economy, all right? And the vice president of Ghana, the president of Ghana, kept rebutting and rebuking him. And you know what? In Africa, our media, sometimes I don't know how to categorize African mentality. We are so gullible and sometimes stupid. When this man began to throw all these jabs, the opposition, instead of them, look, if this man had any good intention, on what he was doing, the right thing he could have done is to consult the government of Ghana, visited the government of Ghana, sent a delegation to the government of Ghana to advise the government of Ghana not to throw fear and uncertainty and doubt in the economy of Ghana. That's what I want you to understand. Please listen, just hold on there. So the vice president of Ghana started throwing in, it became like an internet words of war of words between these people. In that same moment, IMF also kept saying, we are ready to help economy. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka needed IMF, and IMF was rejecting Sri Lanka. So you were telling Ghana that you are willing to help Ghana. That time that Ghana had not requested for IMF help, but Sri Lanka, who had already requested for IMF help, you were not willing to support that country. So what was really happening? I just want you to question some things. What was really happening? Then, as if these things, they don't work, this Professor Hank's tricks was not working effectively as he was expecting, then they use the nuke tools. I call them nuke tools. They are financial tools. They are financial rating tools to attack the economy of Ghana. First, Fish is one of the biggest economic or credit rating institutions in the world. Whenever they speak something on your economy, it could shake your economy. It can discredit your economy. It can put fear in investors. And they have the power to shake up your economy. The first one is Fish. There are two of them, Fish and S&P. So Fish came out and downgraded Ghana's rating from CCC to CC. Ghana protested. If you want to downgrade someone, look at the macro factors. What's affecting? Look at what is happening in the US. Inflation is UK. Inflation is 40-year all-time high. In Europe, in America, and America is not perfect now. Europe is not perfect now. The entire world. So why were you focusing on Ghana, that country, Ghana alone? Meanwhile, the entire world, all right, we're going through the same economic crisis. Why UK is now heading to a recession? Many countries are heading to recession. So why did this Professor Hank single out Ghana as a country? All right, so this Fish also came out and downgraded Ghana's economy. Ghana refused. Ghana was just hitting back, and Ghana said they will never go to IMF. Ghana insisted they will never go to IMF in spite of all this downgrading and all that. Then they unleashed another tool called the S&P. So S&P also came. S&P is also one of the biggest, I think, if you see that, the first or the second biggest rating institution in the world. These are the financial tools of the West that they use to put pressure on anyone they want to put pressure on. So they unleashed this S&P credit rating to discredit Ghana and this is what happened. Ghana began to slide faster. So let me take you through this mechanism or this financial instruments and how it works. All right, there's something called FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All right, I don't know how to basically explain it, but let's use this example. Supposing you've eyed a particular land. Let's say you've seen a very vast land there. You suspect there's gold on it that you want to mine. You have the money, but whenever you go to the chiefs or you go to the owners of the land, they don't want to sell the land to you. They just want to sell the land to people around. They just want to distribute the land among their community. All right, but I have the money. One of the tools that I can use is to stoke fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the area. All right. I can sponsor terrorism. I can sponsor anything to destabilize the area. I can put fear in the people from living in the area. I can use the media to push messages that place is not good. Do not go and live there. I mean, I can render with my wealth and with the media and financial tools or the powers that I have, I can inject fear and uncertainty, high uncertainty at that area, and people would want to stay there. Then I would then go in there and buy the land anyway. By that time, probably the owners or the chiefs will be willing to sell to me because nobody wants to live there anyway, and I'll buy it at a cheaper price. So when I buy it, then I will send a message again. Oh, this place is good. This place is good. I mean, come and buy this. There's a prime area. Then people will begin to look at the place again, and I will raise it. But by that time, I have monopoly. I will raise up the price for people to come and buy. So that's how it works. So fear, uncertainty, and doubt are one of the instruments that traders, all right, I'm a trader, traders or institutions or whatever, they will inject in a particular place, or they will inject in a particular currency or asset or whatever to ward people off, to make people very skeptic, to make people feel uncertain about that particular. Then they will come in and behave as if they are coming to save that particular asset or the country, have some kind of leverage. Then they would have that power to control whoever will want to come in first. That's exactly what is happening. Exactly what's happening now. So when they did that, when they struck fear, uncertainty, and doubt by discrediting Ghana, sending all types of negative information about Ghana, spreading all forms of negative information about Ghana, what happens is investors will begin to think twice. Investors who are already in Ghana, those who foreign direct investors who want to come to Ghana, will be thinking twice. No, let me not come. Let me wait. And the investors who are already in Ghana, out of fear and to protect their own interest and investment, will begin to dump the local currency, which is CD, begin to convert their currency to dollar, which they see to be more safer. And whenever that happens, it will put pressure on the CD. And when that happens, and when there's a pressure on the CD, on the currency, investors or traders will begin to short the currency, putting enough more pressure on it. And then all the investors who will see the dollar is gaining more strength than the CD will then see the dollar as an asset, as a store of value. Therefore, will further convert their CDs into dollar. Then if the CD begins to gain ground, they will just sell their CD dollar back to the CD. It's like trading. All right, they begin to trade it. So now there's a huge pressure on the economy. There's a huge uncertainty, fear, and doubt on the economy. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the economy of Ghana. And all these were fabricated, and it's so stupid that Africans, we can't see this. When Professor Hanks began to spread this message, this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, our media roll with it, began to spread information. The opposition, how stupid you are, you began to roll this information. At the end of the day, those who are following the politicians, now that the economy is in tatters, these politicians, they are driving their four-wheel drive. They still have their benefits, they still have their benefits. Now, fine, they say they have reduced their benefit, but they are still driving. They still don't pay rent. They are receiving big allowances. They are receiving perfume allowance and sunglass allowances. And you, as a party supporter, look, you can't even afford a 3 square meal because you are so, you don't know what is happening. And you know, with other African countries who have seen this play out, they go like, oh, because Ghana, you see your life, you with pride and you are doing your return, and you are doing. Some of them have also begun to spread some myopic. You know, Africa and Kasa, we have a problem. Africa as a continent, we have a problem. But there's also a blessing in whatever is happening now. Look at what the government has done. The government have decided to. I believe this government should have done I believe I believe what the government has done now came a little bit too late. It should have done it earlier. Now he's banned poultry products. He's placed ban a lot of product that we can produce in Ghana to shove up the city. It's a good thing. He has introduced so many mechanisms. So many laws to protect Ghana's economy. But these things should have come earlier. The reason why they were able to hit us, with all these financial weapons or arsenals was because we are very exposed. Our economy is over reliant. Our economy is utterly exposed. So whatever shot they throw at us, they will get us. Look, when the COVID time came, Ghana was importing less because basically the Chinese economy was pretty much closed. So Ghana wasn't importing much from China. Look at the cedi. The cedi became stronger than any other currency in West Africa and even in Africa. In 2019 and early 2020, the cedi was the strongest because of this, because we were importing less. We're depending on the Chinese economy was pretty much closed, so we're basically finding a way to survive on our own. That's exactly what we have to do. We have to close the gap. We should see what is happening as a blessing. And Ghanaians, this is the time that we have to go back to the 1983s, where we had Operation Feed Yourself, grow what you eat. Ghana, we are blessed with all these. In our backyard, you can grow vegetables and it will grow. We can plant vegetables and it will basically literally grow without even watering. We are blessed with all these. So this is also an opportunity for us to get up our loins, get our act together, and close all the exposure, and close all the gaps, the holes that we have pointed, that they can shoot through with their financial instruments. Now, no African country is safer. No African country is powerful. No African country is dependent. They can wake up one day and say that the next country, okay, now that we have done with Ghana, let's target another country, and they begin to spread the same sentiment, the same fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and your economy will crash. You can't survive. No African country can survive. You can't. You don't have the power to survive. The only way is to be self-reliant. That's why I'm very excited about this African Continental Free Trade Area. But how is it going to be implemented? How is Africa taken advantage of? Are we willing to just get on board and begin to trade among ourselves and grow as African, grow what we have the people. We are about 1.5 billion. Are we saying that we can't get engineers to produce? Are you saying that we can't raise enough funds to finance our economies? What's wrong with us, Africans? Now we are exposed. What they are doing to Ghana is real, man. I'm not fabricating. Just think straight. Just do your own analysis. This is not a story. This is no content. This is reality. I'm telling you the truth. Ghana was targeted, and Ghana is being targeted specifically. Issues, find some story to place sanctions on them. But Ghana, what sanction? How are they going to sanction Ghana? Because Ghana is democratic, Ghana is a free country and all that. The only way is to use another way to punish Ghana. That's all. As simple as that. If I'm lying, why is Mugabe no more but still they have sanction on Zimbabwe? You sanctioned Zimbabwe because you said Mugabe was undemocratic, where Mugabe was repressive, and where Mugabe was suppressing the people. So Mugabe is dead. Why do you still have sanction on Zimbabwe to punish the same people you said you were liberating or you were saving? So you see the hypocrisy in our world society. The world needs a better place. We need a world where we'll be free from this racial prejudice, from this continental prejudice, from this I take all and you lose all mentality, where we live together, where we prosper together. We need world prosperity. That's what we need. We need humanity. Humanity prosperity, if there's any word like that. We need human beings to be happy. But these Western countries, most of them do not like it. For me, I've always said my favorite Western leader was Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel, right? The German chancellor. She has been my all-time favorite. She's a mother. She's a woman. She feels sympathy. I remember she saying that she wants something like how do you call it, a Marshall strategy to support Africa's economy. And when he said that, a friend told me that, hey, this woman can't do it, even if she wanted to. I said, why? No, he said the Europeans will never allow this woman to have that Marshall plan for Africa. And yes, this woman talked about it twice and never again. She never talked about it. She came to Ghana because of this. She went to Nigeria because of it, and she never spoke about it. They didn't allow her. Their interest is to see Africa suppressed. Their interest is to see Africa down. Their interest is to see Africa poor. To see Africa always a beggar, so that we always go and beg. We always be consumers. That's sad, but it's not their fault. It's our fault as Africans, because we have all the tools and the power to stop this. Our leaders have all that it takes to stop this. So we shouldn't blame anybody. They got their act together. Don't blame them, because look, Europeans have suffered so much. They have been through wars. I mean, all that they did was part of them being in survival mode. A country like British, very small island, they knew, or they felt that the only way they could survive is to expand. They felt that the only way they could survive is to explore, is to colonize, and to, expand their sphere of influence. That's the only way they felt they could survive, and they did it. Basically, survival of the fittest. So it's for Africans, our leaders, to do what is right for the people, for the continent, for us. All right, so bro or my sister, if you are thinking what's happening in Ghana is just basically about mismanagement, then you are wrong. There's more to it. It was a targeted shot at Ghana, very targeted shot at Ghana. Why would you keep on calling someone to come to you for money while the person hadn't even requested for it? Meanwhile, Sri Lanka was requesting for it at that time. So that's the world we are in.
I'm even sweating. Okay, so the guy has really touched on very sensitive issue and very also important issue. This issue needs to be addressed. I will need a whole lot of time to address this, but let me summarize it for now. There is this man he mentioned called Professor Hack. I came across his tweets several times, and it made me question myself. So I came in conclusion that maybe he is being sponsored by the opposition party in Ghana in a form of having an external mouthpiece. They know Africa will never listen to one of their own, but if it's coming from a white man, they will take it as the truth. So I was thinking maybe that was happening, but this guy has also opened my eye on the other level, because since Ghana joined the IMF, I have never seen the man's post again. I think recently I came across one, but I think it was just for something. But how he used to tweet every day after Ghana joined the IMF, he has not tweeted that much again. And it's very strange. It's very strange. The guy has really talked a lot. And one thing, I'm just going to add this thing. We have always been talking that there is some people somewhere trying to manipulate Africans' economy. But why do we also allow it to happen? We are always exposed for external attack. We are always exposed to external attack. And it's one of the saddest moments. We know we need money to invest in health sector. We need money to invest in education sector. We need money to invest in road. Our roads are very poor. We need money. So why do we invest in a fleet of V8? We invest in a fleet of V8. You go to Japan, take a loan, and just invest in fleet of V8 just for government officials. Now it has become difficult to defend an African leader because at the end of the day, when you also get the opportunity to develop your country, you also act differently. A lot of people, a lot of young guys has been given appointments by the government. At the time you realize they are not doing anything, they will be buying houses, they will be buying cars. That also shows you people, even though there are external forces that are trying to manipulate our economy, you are also part of the problem. Most of our politicians are also part of the problem. If we were going to sit down and know, okay, these are our enemies who don't want us to progress, so let's make sure we are also covered. We are not going to expose ourselves for them to attack us. We should have been fine. But at the end of the day, that is not what happens. I won't talk much because the guy really addressed a lot of issues. I think this type of content, if you try to address it, you are going to be attacked by the opposition people because they will think you are trying to, as he said, you are trying to pamper the sitting president and you are trying to support them. So you are going to get attacked. But the truth is the truth. Even though the politicians are also corrupt, things are not as it seems. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes, and we know that. Just that our people are also puppets, so they can't complain about it. So I'll come back again because I'm going to do a lot of research on this particular issue, and I'll come back to address it because it's a very important topic. We are in 2024, and I say I was sponsored by Masai Mara people of Kenya and Tanzania. This is how they dress. I'm not saying this is how they dress, but the clothing was brought to me from Kenya, so I do appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload any great content, you will be notified. Thanks for watching.